When you think of major video games, at this point pretty much every single one has some sort of esports scene. Except for Minecraft, or kind of anyway. Where the likes of Fortnite or Valorant have developer-endorsed esports scenes, Minecraft simply doesn't have that. Instead, the closest thing to this is MCSR Ranked, which I will get into in this video, but that is essentially Minecraft speedrunning, which is ranked. That is the extent of what it is. But in this video, I wanted to talk about why maybe Minecraft doesn't endorse speedrunning, or why it doesn't endorse esports as a whole, and a little bit about what a Minecraft esports scene would look like, what it could mean for the community, etc. So, let's start off with what I was mentioning, MCSR Ranked, or Minecraft Speedrunning Ranked. So, essentially, what this is ranked speedrunning with like an elo system, etc. So, I believe it's set up mostly by the speedrunning community, in that a lot of the people who play in these events are mostly, again, people who actually made the entire elo system and made the entire thing up, as far as I'm aware. Now, beyond that though, it is very fun to watch. There is a lot of interesting and cool things to watch. It's very impressive. Those who play in it, and yeah, like I said, to watch, it's very enjoyable. However, speedrunning as a whole isn't exactly endorsed by Minecraft, I think, for a simple reason, which is that the game markets itself as a sandbox. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think by marketing itself as a sandbox, by saying that this is the goal of the game, or by speedrunning it, you are completing it, because that's the goal of what most speedruns is to complete the game, you are essentially saying that the goal of the game is to defeat the Ender Dragon, and at that point, you're kind of leading a lot of people into a false sort of sense of what the game actually is about. Now, again, at this point, I think most people in the world know what Minecraft is, so they probably know about the Ender Dragon to an extent, and they know that that isn't necessarily all the goal of Minecraft actually is. But it's easy enough to understand, for one, why speedrunners actually see this as beating the game, because again, it's in the end, there's credits after you beat it, so I suppose it is, technically speaking, beating the game. But on the other hand, again, if you're the developers, you don't want to say this is beating the game, because, again, it's a sandbox, and so, by saying that you're beating the game, you're essentially saying that everyone else who plays the game differently isn't playing the game properly. Now again, I don't think there is a proper way to play the game. If someone enjoys building, they enjoy building. If someone enjoys PvP, they enjoy PvP. If someone enjoys just fighting mobs, they enjoy that. There is so much to Minecraft, and so there shouldn't be a limit to what is considered beating the game. And that's why, immediately, I don't think that speedrunning is actually officially endorsed. As well as that, there is a lot of things and mechanics that speedrunners do in the game that I wouldn't say are so much as exploits within the game, but certainly they are things that the average player just doesn't know about and wouldn't ever need to know about. And so you could argue that this is more just, again, better knowledge, and that's a good thing because the best players should have the best knowledge. But on the other hand, you could make the argument that there is some exploit in there. I don't really know. I don't watch enough speedrunning to know if they are using exploits or anything like that. I don't think they are. Because as well, I would imagine that using exploits would probably disqualify them from speedrunning leaderboards. So I'm not claiming anyone's cheating by any means. Let me make that 100% clear. But I'm sure there's something within the game that they do that probably isn't exactly used as it's intended to be used by the developers, and so the developers endorsing it like that is only going to add fuel to that fire, I suppose, of saying, oh, well, that's how you use it now. I'm not 100% sure, and I don't think that's the best argument, but I do think it's a point worth making, is that there's just certain things which I think the developers don't want to officially endorse, essentially. That is the extent of what my argument is there. As well as that, though, I think the reason they don't endorse this is because of the fact, when you create a esport, you get a lot of new people, especially if there's money on the line, I should add. You get a lot of new people interested in a new part of the game that they maybe otherwise wouldn't have been interested in. Again, I mentioned in the intro about Fortnite and Valorant. Now, I don't know anything about Valorant, I'll be so for real. But I do know a bit about Fortnite, because I did actually play it when it first came out, or the first Battle Royale version came out anyway. I didn't play Save the World. That said, in the Battle Royale version, for a while, there was no esports scene. It was very much a game that you just played for fun with your friends, and sure, you wanted to win, but you could have fun without winning. You know, you could do these silly strategies that would get you to not win, but you had fun. It was a game where you kind of just had fun with your friends, but as well as that, you didn't even need to have friends to play it. You could play on the solo mode and still have fun. It was a really good game when it first came out, and I'm not saying it's not a good game anymore. However, in my opinion, and a lot of casuals' opinions, it's not that fun anymore because of the fact it has been taken over by esports players. Now, I'm not saying, again, this is a bad thing, because esports players have to make money, they have to have a living, and so there will always be someone who is better than you at a video game. It's just how things are. I mean, okay, if you're the best esports player, then okay, maybe not, but still, even the best esports players lose on occasion. And so with Fortnite, though, when the first esports scene first started to emerge, people stopped so much trying to have fun, even in public games, and started to think of more and more ways of how they can just win. And that's when, to me, Fortnite started to become less fun, because it was just, I don't know, just not as fun, I suppose. You weren't allowed to have as much fun because there was always going to be someone in your game who was more bothered about just trying hard and to win the game. They weren't bothered about having a fun fight, they were bothered about winning. And that is kind of my main problem with esports, is that with esports, you essentially create a somewhat toxic community around the game. And again, this isn't a knock on anyone who plays in these esports games or who is a tryhard in inverted commas, because again, I don't want to sound as though I'm dunking on tryhards as though it's a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with wanting to try hard at a game. I'm just, again, saying that I personally think that esports can create an overall negative community around the game that they are for. For example, I think if speedrunning was to get a massive, money package for, prize money and everything, and suddenly a bunch of people started to try and get good at speedrunning and start taking part in these tournaments, while, yes, it's a single-player thing, and so, therefore, you can make the argument that speedrunning isn't really going to get this massive toxic community, there kind of will be, in that I think speedrunning kind of has the best mechanical players within Minecraft, in that a lot of people who are good at speedrunning are also good at a lot of other parts of the game. Because they kind of have to be, because speedrunning kind of just tests everything. So a good example of how someone is really good at something just kind of from speedrunning is Feinberg. So if you don't know who Feinberg is, I would say I don't know if he has the most records in speedrunning, but certainly has a lot of records within speedrunning, and he's a very big streamer and content creator at this point as well. He is kind of good at literally everything there is in Minecraft, whether that be PvP, whether that be parkour, whether that be speedrunning. Again, he's kind of just good at everything, and he has all the knowledge you need for pretty much everything within Minecraft, and he spends a lot of time playing the game, and so therefore, he is very good at the game. I'm not saying he is the undisputed best player of the game, I'm just saying he is very good at pretty much everything. And certainly that can apply to the vast majority of people who do speedrun as well, so that's just what I'm saying there. However, that ties in sort of to my next thing, which is Minecraft events, or multiplayer minigame events, which are usually privately held for content creators, and then people watch these. It's something which I'm very interested in. I love watching these events because they're fun. However, I don't see them as a potential esport. Why? Because, well, to be honest, one of the main appeals of these is that they're kind of between a bunch of friends, or a lot of the teams are friends, and usually quite well balanced and everything. And so, because everyone is friends, there isn't much of an incentive to have to really try hard constantly. Certain people do try, but it's to say, if you want to do a fun strategy within one of these events, or you want to try out this new strategy that isn't necessarily optimal or anything like that, you can do that. If you want to really try hard and spend time practicing, you can do that, but there's no incentive to have to do it because there's no money on the line, there's nothing. It's just a fun thing for the viewers and for those involved playing. So I think making that into an esport would only have detrimental effects on the game. Again, for one, how would Minecraft choose what to put in it? Because again, it's a sandbox game, so what do they say is a good minigame? Do they put in popular minigames like, I don't know, Sky Wars or anything like that? Do they say, oh, we're going to have a pure parkour game? Because anyone who's watched a pure parkour game within one of these Minecraft events will know they can get quite boring from a viewer's point of view if you're watching anyone other than a really good parkour player. And so that's another point to make, is that if it was a esport, would it mean that every single team is really good at the game? Because if it does, again, I think that gets rid of a lot of the appeal of Minecraft events. One of my favourite things about Minecraft events is watching these players who maybe aren't expected to do well, or have never even played in the event before, or anything like that, have these insane events where they go and place really well and help their team go and win, despite no one really expecting them to. I think that's one of the best parts of Minecraft events, in my opinion. And so getting rid of that, I think, would just serve to ruin what was a great idea initially. And so, what are any other ideas for esports within Minecraft? Could you just do a single minigame rather than a full-on minigame event which tests multiple things? Again, a lot of very popular esports at the moment are just shooter games, so could you just have a crossbow minigame where you have to kill people on a 6v6 map or something? I don't know, again, essentially what I'm saying there is, can they do just something like Valorant? Which, again, I don't know a lot about Valorant, I just know it's got a massive esports scene, so can they do something like that? I don't really know. And the point is that I think if Minecraft wanted to do an esports scene, they would basically have to work out, if they did this, essentially a lot of people would spend a lot of time trying to get good at this one thing, at the detriment of everything else. And if you don't update it, you don't add things to it constantly, people will get annoyed, because if you don't update things within esports, people get annoyed. There is a massive fandom within esports, and if you can make a popular esport, then great. But you need to then update things because of the fact people want to see things updated. People don't want to see the same thing over and over and over again. And that, I think, is one of the major problems that Minecraft has, is that because of the fact there are so many different people within the Minecraft community in terms of what they enjoy and everything like that, there's no real point in making an esports scene, because it would incentivize a lot of people to leave their old communities and just go into the esports scene, whatever that may end up being, purely because there's just money on the line. And that, to me, I don't think is a good thing. Like I say, the big appeal of Minecraft is the fact that there are people who enjoy the building side of it. There are people who enjoy the PvP. There are people who enjoy the parkour. There are people who enjoy speedrunning. There are people who just enjoy bridging quickly. There is literally so many different communities within Minecraft. Some people just enjoy the role-playing element. There is so many different things you can do within the game, and the idea of just getting rid of that in favour of esports, I think, is a bad idea overall. However, I don't think it's a bad idea for Minecraft to start endorsing some of these things in terms of just saying, hey, you can watch this. It's not like prize money, but what I'm meaning is that Minecraft endorsing someone like Feinberg, or endorsing a speedrunner, or speedruns as a whole, and just saying, hey, watch this. This is them being really good at the game, but they're not saying, hey, we're going to give you a bunch of money and now everyone's got to try and get good at speedrunning, because if not, you're going to get left behind and you're not going to make any money. I don't think that's a good idea, but I think it's a good idea to just say, hey, this is something that happens, go and watch it, it's cool. Because that's more what I would say is the Minecraft community should be about, is kind of a bunch of communities coming together, and everyone should be able to enjoy each other's content, enjoy each other's communities. Because I think that is one major problem with a lot of video games, and again, a lot of esports, is that there are toxic communities. And so you don't want to get involved in a toxic community because it's very difficult to anyway. And then even if you were involved with it already, I think being involved with a toxic community just isn't fun. Why would you want to be? So anyway, that's a bunch of me just rambling about esports and Minecraft. Essentially though, I want to know in the comments, what do you think about the idea of Minecraft having an esports scene? Would you like to see it? What would you want it to be if it was there? Or do you just agree with my idea that I think more just Minecraft endorsed things, where they kind of just endorse little events here and there? They don't have to be speedrunning. They endorse maybe a build-off. They endorse, I don't know, who can make the best recreation of a certain building or so anything like that. Just endorsing little competitions here and there rather than just a massive esports scene, I think could be cool. But beyond that, I don't think a full-blown esports scene is what Minecraft should be, because that's not what the game's about. Anyway, bye.